So I asked you what you wanted me to cover in this next video for Breastfeeding Awareness Month. And without a doubt, you were dying to have some of the myths about breastfeeding be debunked. So I thought, hey, I got an extra 30 hours to kill. I could bust up some of those for y'all, why not? Well, it turns out there seems to be hundreds of breastfeeding myths out there, which is really overwhelming for me, but more so really unfortunate to think about how discouraging this must be to pregnant women or new moms. So while I ain't surprised, I accept things how they are and feel fortunate to be given a voice that can get out there and help change the shitty diapers of these dirty breastfeeding myths. So thank you for that. As always, I recommend you consult a physician for any issues or concerns about your health, but in this particular case, I will suggest you also consult a lactation professional, as most physicians are not lactation specialists. Stay tuned till the end. I promise it won't be a letdown. Let's get to the myths. Myth number 1 is medication. Okay, is the baby taking something because I'm taking something? Not me, you. I don't breastfeed. I can't even drink from a bottle right. Good stuff. Over half of the United States is on some sort of prescribed medication, and each of those people on average about 4 different ones. This is not to mention over-the-counters, nutritional supplements, vitamins, pre-workouts, whatever. But good news, most of the therapeutic drugs you take are okay with breastfeeding. However, I'm giving you 2 resources here, okay? The first one is an easy, quick, reliable one called the LacMed database, which the National Library of Medicine brings to you to check for compatibility. It's easier than Google, folks. You got it right at your fingertips. The second source is to consult with your physician or specialist on the matter, okay? I'm not the one giving you the thumbs up on any of this stuff, okay? That's why they make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year doing what they do, and I'm a volunteer turned hermit that's declining all social invites. No, I can't, bro. I'm reading up on the duct physiology of the human mammary glands. Alright, dude, you're okay though, right? Go see your doctor, but in all honesty, they'll probably be looking the medication up in LacMed database themselves. So put in a little work and do it well before you're breastfeeding. Some meds take a long time to taper off of. Know if you're on one of them, you'll be glad you did. Myth number 2, same idea but with foods, okay? What can I eat? Does it have to be bland? It's so boring. Can't live without my Tapatio. This one's easy, just eat a healthy and balanced diet. Use that Tabasco. If you really want them bubble guts, add a little sriracha. Okay, your baby will cue you in on what they like and don't like. You do, however, want to avoid eating lots of seafood with high amounts of mercury content like cod, swordfish, and tuna. There's also no recommendation to avoid foods that have high potential for allergies just because. It's suggested you eat how you'd normally eat. Side note, vitamin D, that stuff we get from the sun, is good for bone formation, but a tan baby is not. Some of that D is in the breast milk, it's just usually not enough. Talk to your docs about supplementing your infant with vitamin D. Also, vegans and vegetarians, look into multivitamins and make sure it contains vitamin B12. Again, consult a specialist. Myth number 3, I am getting or have gotten a boob job, okay? There is absolutely no judgment here. I've been brought to tears hearing stories from patients about how much implants can mean to them, where I'm like, you go and turn those TTs to tatas? I need a tissue. Good news, most women can breastfeed despite implants, but a portion of them can't. So make sure you have a discussion with your physician about your concerns about breastfeeding. But to sum it all up, you really won't know until it's time to try. So have a backup plan in place if it doesn't come through. Donated milk is your best bet here, and though breastfeeding is highly recommended over formula, it's not the end of the world. Myth number 4 is breast reductions. Now, I might be the only guy I've met that understands why these 2 words are put together to form a surgery. Fellas, we have no idea what it's like carrying around that extra weight on our chest, okay? The average pair of D cups can weigh anywhere from 15 to over 20 pounds. That could be like 2 gallons of paint hanging off your collarbones. They can get way larger than D cups, as we all know. The chronic back and nerve pain some women live with is not okay. That being said, if you want or have had a breast reduction and want to breastfeed, it might be a little less likely that you're able to. If the ducts are damaged, they may not reconnect or reform. So talk to your surgeon about the techniques that can best allow for breastfeeding. Myth number 5, I am Christian Bale with a man bun, okay? This has nothing to do with breastfeeding, but apparently everything to do with breastfeeding mothers. While I'm not Christian Bale's doppelganger, I have been told I do a pretty good version of his classic rant at the end of my video about the side effects of the medication lithium. So if you want an even closer comparison, check that out. It's in my album. The real myth number 5, breastfeeding should discontinue when fill in the f***ing blank. At X months, at X years, when the colostrum's done, when they get teeth. I've always heard that, hey, if they're old enough to ask for it, it's time to stop. Remember the days not so long ago when all they could do was just cry and you said, I wish you could just talk and tell me what exactly it is that you need. Well, now they can. More and more studies are showing the longer your baby is getting that liquid gold, the longer they're making it rain at the play center, baby. The World Health Organization, whose #1 concern is the public health of the world, recommends breastfeeding all the way up until 2 years of age and beyond. So for all you who think it's weird seeing an older baby being breastfed, get that out of your head. It is normal. You are just not educated as to why. But it's not your fault. It's your friend's fault for not sharing this video with you. Studies have shown that not only do the benefits of breastfeeding I talked about in my last video cover the child the entire time of breastfeeding, but the longer they're breastfed, the better developmental outcomes they're likely going to have after breastfeeding is discontinued, and perhaps lifelong. There is no specific time when the weaning process should happen. Not when they start eating solids, not when they start using the potty, and definitely not because you're getting weird looks or feeling pressured to. I wear socks and sandals all the time and get weird looks. You think I'm gonna let them take that lifestyle away from me? Breastfeeding should discontinue when the mother and the baby decide it should discontinue. It's unique for every mother and child, period. I know some of these myths may not be the most concerning ones in your eyes, but again, each one may have been the single determinant as to whether or not a mother decides to breastfeed their child. So while I may not have gotten to the one that matters most to you, don't get your knickers in a knot. I'll be back with part 2, debunking more myths, okay? I promise. This month's about awareness, and I am fully latched on. Drop some breastfeeding advice, tips, tricks, or what you think needs to be the next myth busted in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe so I can keep going.
Nurse Stefan, candy department. Nurse Stefan, candy department.
Speaking of going, there's an emergency I've got to respond to, so I'll see you next time. Look at this guy trying so hard to spread his reach to teach the public. You know, out of the 200,000 people that viewed his video last time, only about 50 people subscribed to his channel. And I know one of them was his aunt. Those couple clicks lets YouTube know what I'm saying matters. And right now, Kanye West on Jimmy Kimmel is #1. That shit has to change. So help me do that. For you, your children, and theirs thereafter.
Mouth is a liar.